That real shit. That real shit. That real shit. That real yes, shit. That real 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 shit. Sports talk. That real shit. That real shit. That real shit. That real shit. That real yes, that real shit. 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 Sports talk.
What up, y'all? Coach Smith, aka Mr. Get You Right Up in this motherfucker, man. I want to welcome everybody to a quick 7th episode of That Real Shit Sports Talk. Big shout out to everybody who checked out that 6th episode, man. I want to keep it a little focused today. I'm gonna get on Colin Kaepernick real quick. That's all I'm gonna talk about today. Cap. I hate to say it, but he played y'all. He played the black community. I hate to be the one to tell you, but he played us. He played y'all, cause I never really bought into the shit. I'm gonna tell y'all why. I feel like I got a little insight that a lot of people don't. So hear me out. A lot of people know that Alex Smith was my high school quarterback. Alex Smith went on to the University of Utah, and then the San Francisco 49ers drafted him first. Alex had a couple of solid years, not Pro Bowl caliber, but he had decent years. When John Harbaugh got to the 49ers is when Alex Smith's career took off. You know what I mean? He found himself on a really good team with a really good defense specifically, so he really didn't have to do much. So going into the year that Cap took over for Alex Smith, Alex pretty much started, I think, half of the games that year before he got hurt. He got a concussion. When Alex went down, the Niners had the best defense in the league, if not top two defenses in the league, and they also had John Harbaugh, who's well known in football circles as a offensive guru. So one, it was no surprise that Alex had so much success under Jim Harbaugh, because he was well known for his offense. So let me just reiterate those two factors. The 49ers already had a great defense, not a good defense, a great defense, and they had a quote unquote genius of an offensive coach. So Alex gets hurt, right? Cap takes over. Cap, I think in the first 4 or 5 games, he rushed for 200 something yards. He rushed for 200 something yards in 4 or 5 games. Balling, right? And hold on, let me go back just a little bit. So I stayed in Seattle during this time. I lived up in Seattle. I went to UW. During this time, I went to quite a few of the Seahawks games, and the Seahawks was always on TV. So I watched them play the 49ers every game. And the 49ers are also on in Seattle a lot. So anytime I got to watch Alex play, I did. You know what I mean? I never really called myself a Niners fan, a super Niners fan, but I was an Alex Smith fan. So every time the 49ers was on TV, I watched every single game. No bullshit. So let's get back to Cap. That's just a little preface. When Cap took over for Alex, like I said, the team already had a great defense, and Jim Harbaugh hadn't really been found out yet as a coach. So when Cap entered, nigga balled. He had a gang of rushing yards. He had a gang of rushing yards each game, and he could still pick you apart with the play action, and he still had a cannon of an arm. So the man could throw the ball 70, 75 yards. So I'll never take that from him, because he had NFL talent. He has NFL talent. But I think this is where things started to go downhill. The 49ers went to the Super Bowl, right? They lost in the Super Bowl to the Ravens in the blackout Super Bowl. After that Super Bowl, Jim Harbaugh and the GM started beefing real heavy. Jim Harbaugh left a pretty good team. He didn't leave the 49ers because he was sick of taking losses. He left the 49ers because of management. So the 49ers still had a decent roster when he left. And when he left, Cap assumed the starting role because they traded Alex. A lot of y'all know this already, so this ain't really new news to a lot of y'all watching. Kaepernick struggled when Jim Harbaugh left. He struggled a lot, and at that point, the league had film on him. In football, and I don't know how it is. I don't know how relative it is in other sports. Basketball, I know there is some relativity, but in football, definitely. If you break down if you break down the film of an opponent, you can study their habits, study their tendencies, study their weaknesses. And when Jim Harbaugh left the Niners, the league had time to watch film on Cap, especially in the NFC West. Everybody would watch film on Cap, so they had time to figure him out. We all knew he was a running quarterback. He wasn't known for his ability to pick apart a defense. He wasn't known for his ability to read a coverage. He was known for his running ability. That's what put him on in the first place. In addition to being on a great team, we've seen Trent Dilfer win a Super Bowl with a great defense. So let's not act like defenses can't carry offenses in football, because they do all the time. Jim Harbaugh left. Cap's production declined a lot. By then, I think the second year after Jim Harbaugh left was the year he decided to start kneeling, right? And he did it here in San Diego. He did it against the Chargers at Qualcomm Stadium in the first preseason game. Now, I found it, at the time, I found it ironic than a motherfucker that this nigga started kneeling as soon as he got benched. He didn't kneel while he was the starter. He didn't kneel. He didn't talk none of this police justice shit when he was the starting quarterback. He didn't kneel until he got benched. Now, the season prior, I'm a huge proponent of body language. Body language will tell you a lot about a motherfucker, especially in sports. Watching that last season with Colin Kaepernick, he displayed some of the worst body language I've ever seen. He looked disinterested in a motherfucker. He had an attitude all the time. You know what I mean? And to me, his body language just said he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to take on the responsibility of being that dude anymore, because he wasn't on as good of a team. By that year, the defense wasn't as good, and all the pressure was on him, and he couldn't handle it. He folded, essentially. So when he started this shit, I found it real ironic that he didn't start kneeling until he got benched. He wasn't doing none of that shit when he was the starter. Also, and if somebody can prove me wrong, please do. If you can fact check, do some fact checking that I can't do, please correct me. Please holla at me. Please leave a comment about what you know that I don't. But Kaepernick wasn't talking no police brutality before he kneeled. He wasn't talking about helping black communities before he kneeled. It wasn't until after he caused the media hysteria that he started trying to be this black messiah. You know what I'm talking about? And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that he got put on this pedestal representing black people because he kneeled. Now, to me, and this is just my opinion, no facts here, just straight opinion. To me, I don't think he realized how big the kneeling shit was gonna get. I think he was salty because he lost his starting job, and I'm not gonna say he's a bitch, but he displayed some bitch ways after he got benched, and to draw some attention to himself, he kneeled because he was mad. I feel like that's why he started kneeling. Police brutality ain't why he started kneeling. When he saw how much attention it got, that's when he made it about police brutality, homie. That's when he made it a racial issue. Now, the race thing. Colin, this dude has a biological white mom and a biological African dad. I read his dad from Kenya, was born in Kenya. So his dad wasn't born in the United States. So technically his father's not African American. His dad is straight African. His mama's white. They gave him up for adoption. His adopting parents are both white. He got three white parents. Damn. He was adopted by a white couple. So my problem with Cap, and at the time, and it still is the problem. Like, dog, you didn't grow up like I did. I grew up in Southeast Dago. So I mean, Southeast Dago is a luxury hood. You go to Chicago, Detroit, those is real hoods. You go to Louisiana, those is real hoods. There ain't no real hoods in San Diego. But I grew up in one of the hoodest parts of San Diego. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up with black people all around me. And I grew up in what I call the true black experience. Black parents, black siblings, black neighbors, you know what I mean? Black friends going to school. I don't say this with pride, but I didn't have no real friends until I got to college. Sean Douglas was the first white dude I considered a friend of mine. You know what I mean? I didn't have no white friends growing up. I kicked it with niggas. That was it. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But you know what I mean? I grew up with a mama that didn't play. I grew up with a daddy that didn't play. I grew up with a grandma that didn't play. You know what I'm saying? And not that white parents don't, but I know for sure he didn't live the same black experience I did. Yet, this is the motherfucker that's representing black people, representing the black struggle. You know what I'm saying? He didn't grow up with gangbanging. He didn't grow up with drugs. He didn't grow up with barely enough money. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you he grew up real comfortable. Real comfortable. A lot more comfortable than the average black man. I'll just say that. Yet, he's the one standing up for all of us, representing all of us. I got a problem with that, and I still do got a problem with that. He played y'all. He to me, and again, this is just my opinion. These are no facts, just opinion. He was on the downhill. He saw the downhill of his career. Now hold on. Now I know motherfuckers gonna be like, his last year he had 16 tubs, only 4 or 5 touchdowns. They only won like 3 games that year. My main argument to people that say that is, when did he throw those touchdowns? Did you watch those games? Because I did. Do you know what garbage time is? Everybody that plays sports knows what garbage time is. Most of those touchdowns in Colin Kaepernick's last year were in garbage time. They were down three or more possessions when he threw those touchdowns. The games were over. And he was the starting quarterback. So I mean, and again, the other argument is that the team wasn't as good. I'll give you that. But the team and the defense not being as good has nothing to do with Colin Kaepernick throwing a corner route to a slot when the defense is running cover 3 instead of taking the hitch. You know what I'm saying? He would throw the corner route to the slot receiver instead of taking the hitch wide open in the flat. He would do shit like that. But unless you really watch football or understand football, unless you really understand football, you don't know that. You just hopped on the Kaepernick bandwagon because he was representing for black people. You don't know that he was stinking it up, man. I'm just being honest. Like I don't have no reason to be biased one way or the other. I don't have no reason to. I know what I saw. I can properly evaluate, especially football shit. This is what I know, man. I can evaluate football performance pretty well. Colin wasn't getting it done. Not because he wasn't capable. I would argue because he didn't give a fuck no more. He didn't like the situation he was in. He wanted to get up out of there, which I'm not mad at. But don't turn it into this racial thing where you representing for all black people when you didn't even grow up black, homie. You didn't live the life me and my relatives had to live. You didn't live the life my family had to live, homie. You had it a lot easier, but you repping for all of us. That's my problem with Cap. He played y'all. Nike paid him. He just got the settlement check. Him and Eric Reed gotta split it. And hold on, let's get on Eric Reed real quick because even though I feel like Kaepernick, you know what I mean? All the dudes that kneeled, they didn't really make a big deal about police brutality until they started kneeling, until they realized how much attention it was gonna get. But Eric Reed went way harder than Cap did about his social stances. He went way harder in the media than Kaepernick did. He showed his face a lot and said a lot of shit to the cameras, way more than I seen Kaepernick doing. Way more. So if we gonna tip our hat, if anybody should have got the commercial, the Nike commercial, it should have been Eric Reed, because he was the only one really pushing the hard line on the front line. You know what I'm saying? Colin Kaepernick kneeled, got out of the league, and then played the background. He didn't want to play the front seat no more. Eric Reed held that shit down like a G. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, he played y'all. He got paid. They're saying the settlement was anywhere between $30 to $90 million. Both parties signed a non-disclosure agreement, agreeing not to disclose any information of the details of the settlement and how much he got. But it's a lot of bread, and it's probably more than he was gonna make as a backup quarterback. And that's the other thing, man. That's the last thing I'm gonna bring up, and I'm gonna get up out of here. Cause like I said, I'm gonna keep it short. People don't understand. I was talking to my man Hector about this the other day, and he brought up a good point. Like no NFL team, especially, wants a backup quarterback that eats up all the camera time and shit, that gets all the attention. Why if you're an NFL team, why would you want your backup quarterback getting all the camera time, getting all the face time? You got to answer all the questions about your backup quarterback. Your backup. Because that's what Colin was when he left the league. He was a backup quarterback. If and when Colin signs with a team, I don't think he will. Because I think he slit his own throat with the collusion case. But if he did get back in the league, if I was his teammate, I'm like, hey, I don't want to answer no questions about this motherfucker, man. This nigga ain't been on the team, so don't ask me no questions about Colin Kaepernick, please. But you know that's exactly what the media is gonna do. That's exactly what the media is gonna do. If he gets signed to a team, he immediately becomes a distraction to motherfuckers who have been there already. And if I'm a vet, I don't want to answer no fucking questions about Colin. I don't. And after a while, if I keep having to answer questions about Colin, I'm gonna start beefing with him. Cause you bringing all of this nonsense to me, homie. So to me, that's why Colin ain't on no team. So I don't know, man. Hey, y'all drop a comment below. Let me know what y'all think, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I said, I'm gonna just keep it at that. But it's just something I've been thinking about for a while. And like I said, I know a lot of black people specifically hopped on Cap's bandwagon. But man, he played y'all.